Hey, everybody, welcome back. Well, this is the last episode. Would have been Bobby's birthday today, so it's poetic justice that we're releasing the last show we recorded together on the 24th when Bobby would have been 72 years old. And it's True Hollywood Stories Part 3. These were our favorite episodes. We liked nothing more than to sit around and just shoot the breeze. So enjoy it. I mean, all of these shows have taken on a new meaning, and I'm really grateful that we have them. Thank you so much for the support throughout the run of this show. And let's see what happens next, all right? Enjoy the show. We'll see you soon. Hello, my friends. Welcome to a special bonus episode of the Party Nerds Podcast, coming to you live from that triple secret location high in the Hollywoodland Hills. I'm Richard Gabai with
Robert Carradine.
The legendary Robert Carradine. And last time we didn't get to kind of get out all the stories that were on our mind about these weird things that happen.
I know, there's so many stories, man. I don't even know where to start. I guess, you know what? I know where to start. This is my first starring movie. I had the top position in the billing, the Pom Pom Girls. The Pom Pom Girls came about because they were having auditions, and we went to go meet the director, Joe Rubin. And there's like a group of us. There's 3 or 4 kids all going in at the same time to meet Joe. Right. And I sat on his desk, which I've never sat on a director's desk during an audition before.
Wait a minute. You sitting on his desk?
Yes.
Were you hitting on him?
No, man, I was just sitting on his desk.
Oh, all right.
You know, because I was the class cut-up in this movie. I played Johnny, and Johnny was the class cut-up. And he thought that was incredibly bold, and he hired me. And we shot that film in 3 weeks. It was slated for 2 weeks, but we went over by a week. And we also went over budget. We went from $295 to $350, which, you know, almost broke Crown International Pictures. But the movie went on to make $17 million. So it was a huge hit. And that was my first starring movie.
Wow, super cool. This is a story I could not make up. And speaking about first movies, the first movie that I directed and starred in was, of course, Assault of the Party Nerds. And you know, I wrote this film on a typewriter, wrote it over a weekend, and it shows. The night before production, and you know, we've talked about this, how in, you know, Revenge of the Nerds has all these jokes you could never make today, as did Assault of the Party Nerds. You know, sort of a big plot twist in Assault of the Party Nerds is that the jocks, these good-looking guys that are jocks with the hot girlfriends, well, the joke is that, you know, they're in the closet and they're gay. And so, and one of the reveals is one of the guys is reading a gay, you know, porn magazine, or like a gay Playboy.
Oh, Playgirl.
Well, anyway, so the night before the shoot, we're shooting in Hollywood. We're actually shooting downtown. I'm living in Hollywood. The last thing I needed was that prop, that magazine. And now in a big movie, of course, you make a fake magazine.
Right.
But we're making the seat of our pants. We made it for $40,000. I wasn't worried about clearances. In fact, I didn't even know what clearances were. I didn't know you had to clear stuff. I mean, there's a million, you know, there's stuff all over that movie. So I walked down to this thing that used to exist called a newsstand, and I'm perusing all these magazines. There's no way I can make this up. So I see there's a magazine called Mandate. And if I wanted to make like a title that I thought was funny,
right,
for Assault of the Party Nerds, of a gay male, you know, magazine,
right,
it would be called Mandate.
Yeah.
So it's called Mandate, and it's got this really hunky, good-looking guy on the cover. And I was like, okay, there's my prop. So I pick it up, and you know, I'm open-minded kind of guy. I'm walking home, and I just start, I don't know, flipping through the pages. I even started reading one of the articles about something, and then I get to the center, and the centerfold was one of the stars of my movie, Kevin Glover. He was like the number 2 lead jock. If you've seen the film, the Adonis, the tall, blonde, Adonis-looking guy, he's the star of the movie. I discovered this when I'm like 2 steps away from my apartment. I'm like, I don't want to go back there and just deal with getting a new magazine. And it was the centerfold.
Yeah, right.
So I just opened those staples.
Yep.
And I pulled that out.
Right.
Right? I pulled that out, and I put this thing in like the little egg carton or whatever I was taking all the props to the set in. And I said, well, I'll keep this stashed, and I'll go talk to Kevin. I'll say, hey, man, and I don't judge. I don't care who anybody, none of us care who anybody sleeps with.
Yeah.
So I was just like, hey, just FYI, I happen to get this thing as a prop. So I'll talk to him about it so he won't see it. So anyway, so I take Kevin aside before shooting that scene. I was like, hey, I wanted to grab a prop for this movie, and you're the centerfold, right? He goes, I said, listen, just FYI, don't worry about it. I opened up the thing, I just pulled out the centerfold. And he goes, oh, why? Put it back in, I don't care. But I mean, can you believe it?
No, I can't. I mean, that's amazing.
If I said, like, if you put that scene in a movie, somebody's making a movie.
Right.
And then they go buy a random prop, a magazine, and it's the centerfold is your actor.
Yeah.
But, that really happened.
Yeah. No, they never, ever believed that. I don't even believe it right now. You sure this happened?
It happened.
Okay.
If you don't believe that happened, I'll tell you about something else that happened.
Fire away.
So I'm at my good friend Michael Baldwin. He actually stars in all the Phantasm movies, and he wrote my movie Vice Girls. Anyway, and he starred in that with me at Vice Girls. He was having his 40th birthday party at an apartment in Beverly Glen, just kind of normal 2-bedroom apartment, him and his wife. And I go to the party, and it turns out that he had been friends with Jennifer Aniston. And this is the time when Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt were a couple.
Okay.
I think they were married.
Yes.
And they were there just at this casual party.
Yeah.
Yeah, And we're kind of hanging out, and somehow, I mean, this is like one of the most Americana events, or not Americana, but like surreal events in the world.
Okay.
I end up sitting on a couch in between Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston.
Wow.
And we all know how handsome Brad Pitt is and how adorable Jennifer Aniston is. But in person, Jennifer Aniston is just a light bulb of everything appealing and beautiful and charming.
Wow.
I was like, wow. So I'm sitting between them. Brad rolls a joint, like a cigar type one, like you'd think like some army guy did in the middle of the wilds,
Yeah.
He rolls this joint, he lights it, he takes a hit, he hands it to me. And I'm not a pot smoker, but freaking Brad Pitt just handed me this joint. So I'm like, oh, okay, I take a little hit. Amateur. Anyway, I hand it to Jennifer. She's adorable, smiles at me, oh, thanks, She takes it, and she drops it on the ground.
Yeah.
She then bends over to pick it up, and her derriere is like right in my face. And I look for a minute, and I look over to Brad, and Brad goes, that happened.
That is so funny, man.
And I will tell you, they are two of the loveliest people of all time. In fact, there was another party a few months later, and our youngest baby, Juliet, had been born. So Jessica was holding baby Juliet, and all Brad wanted to do through the whole party was like goo goo gaga at the baby.
Oh, that's so cute.
So really amazing. Who would have think these things would happen,
But I love his reaction to you.
100% dude reaction, because like it's right there in my face, and it's flawless. And I look for a split second, I'm like, oh no, I'm looking too long. I look over to Brad. Yeah, Brad's like,
yeah, baby.
yeah.
Oh, I know. The Big Red One. The film I did with Lee Marvin and Mark Hamill.
Uh-huh.
Well, I remember the audition stands out as the all-time weirdest wonderfulness audition. I go to meet Sam Fuller, our director.
The legendary Sam Fuller.
Legendary Sam Fuller. And I walk into this office, it's on the Warner Brothers lot, and the office is big. And there's one desk, and Sam's sitting behind it, nothing else, not another chair, couch, nothing. Mm-hmm. It's barren. So I walk in there and, I go, hi, how do you do, sir? He goes, he talked like this. He said, I'm just fine, lad. Okay, so. And he's got this big old cigar in his mouth, and he goes, I need you to turn around, I want to see your ass.
And you don't have Jennifer Aniston's.
No.
No.
And I go, excuse me? He said, I need to see your ass. So I turn around. He goes, and while I'm turned around, he goes, you'll do. That was the audition.
Wow.
Now, I talked to the other characters in the film. They had to audition. I don't know, man.
You just had to do a little body check?
Yeah, well, apparently, I asked Sam about that after I got to know him a little bit. He said, well, you know, I'm looking at 4 different asses on this show, and I need to see 4 very distinctive asses. There's one shot where you see the 4 of us from the back. All the asses look the same.
Was that shower scene?
No, there's no shower scene. We're at war, man. Oh, God. And then there's we're on location. We've been there, I don't know, maybe 3 days, and somebody has arranged for us to go shoot the M1 Garand military rifle so that we could accurately replicate the recoil of the rifle. So we all go down in front of the hotel. When I say we all, it's Mark Hamill, Bobby DeCicco, Kelly Ward, and me. We're the 4 horsemen. So we're sitting in the car waiting for Lee to come down, and finally he comes down. He's got his daughter with him. I guess she was about 15 or 16 years old. He gets in the middle of the front seat. She takes shotgun. So we're looking at the back of Lee Marvin's head. He's got a military haircut, full-on Marine Corps, a little tuft on top, like a lot of people are wearing these days. Mm-hmm. That's how Lee is. And his hair is white, and his neck and the whole upper part of his body is red. Mm-hmm. You know, like it's just red from being around for a long time. So off we go. We're going along. We go about, I don't know, 10 minutes, 10, 15, something like that. Not very far. And without turning around, he goes, which one of you is Carradine? And I look at the boys. I go, I am. He goes, fuck you, Carradine. That's how I met Lee Marvin. So we get out to the rifle range, and he hasn't said anything else on the drive.
Right.
Right. We got to the rifle range, and there's the military Israeli guy with the rifle, and it's one of those, you know, ready on the right, ready on the left kind of deals, you know, boom, 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 boom. So we're all taking our turn, and it gets to Kelly Ward. He's last. It's me, DeCicco, Hamill, and Kelly Ward. Kelly Ward gets like 2 shots off. Lee reaches in, grabs the rifle, unloads the clip right in front of our feet, and hands the rifle back to Kelly Ward and said, that's combat, God damn it. And he goes and gets back in the car. So that was Lee Marvin. We were told to keep our rifles clean so they wouldn't jam. And I was the only one that took my rifle home with me to the Herzliya Hilton. I took it home. By the way, we shot this in Israel. I took my rifle home every night, took it apart and cleaned it because Lee Marvin showed us how to field strip the rifle. My rifle never jammed, but Mark Hamill's rifle jammed one time, and he cleaned it out, and he wasn't paying attention, and he shot an extra in the leg with a full load blank. It bloodied the extra.
Oof.
Poor bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know another thing that happened on the Big Red One. We were shooting at the Dead Sea. Dead Sea's in Israel, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we're shooting at the Dead Sea, and it's hotter than Hades. I mean, it's like 115, 120 degrees, maybe 110 in the shade. And they had these teenagers that went around with these buckets full of little plastic bags full of water, and they kept tossing them out to us so we wouldn't get dehydrated. Well, I wasn't thirsty, and I had chills, and it's 100 and something degrees. And the AD looks at me, he says, you're going to the ER, you're sick. I go, no, I'm fine. I don't want to miss anything. He says, listen, we're going to shoot 100 guys. You guys are dressed alike. You won't be missed. Trust me. I said, okay. So I go back to the ER. Turns out I have food poisoning. They send me back to the hotel. I'm walking in the hotel, and Lee's walking out. I didn't know why he wasn't on the set. I mean, maybe he had the afternoon that he had to shoot. But anyhow, we're about to pass each other, and he goes, where are you going? I go, well, I'm sick. I have food poisoning. He goes, food poisoning, huh? Come here. He takes me into the bar, He orders 2 Fernet Brancas, which is this really bitter coffee liqueur. He says, drink those. So I drink them. He goes, okay, come on, got to go up to your room. So we go up to my room. He says, get in bed. I get in bed. He sees my guitar in the corner of the room. He says, is that your guitar? I said, well, yeah. He says, do you mind if I play it? I said, no. He plays Red River Valley and sings it to me, puts the guitar back, kisses me on the head, and leaves. I mean, Lee Marvin.
That is the opposite of fuck you, Carradine.
Oh, yeah, and I asked him about that. I said, well, you know, after about 3 or 4 weeks we'd been working together, I said, what was with the fuck you, Carradine thing? He said, well, you know, I figured I had to keep up with 4 of you sons of bitches, young sons of bitches, so I wanted to set the record straight right out of the gate. So that's why that happened.
There's nothing like the true Hollywood classic greats. And one of my heroes of show business, which actually he was before my time, but I became a fan and followed up on, was Dean Martin.
Oh my God.
And Dean Martin, I've given the answer, but who's the only artist who had the #1 record, the #1 TV show, and the #1 movie all in the same week in the history of Hollywood? Dean Martin.
Wow.
Memories are made of this, The Dean Martin Show, and Airport.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So, but I was always just a huge fan of the Dean and Jerry movies, and Jerry, and then Dean on his own, and all of the dramas and everything that he went to do. And my friend and colleague, my writing partner, oftentimes editor, Larry Maddox, said, you know, I heard this rumor that Dean Martin hangs out at the Hamburger Hamlet on Sunset Boulevard every Sunday afternoon. And I was like, no way. The Hamlet was one of the greatest places ever to get a martini and the chicken wings. The wings were unhinged.
Yeah.
They were those giant wings. I don't know. I've never seen them anywhere else. Anyway, so went over to the Hamburger Hamlet, went at the bar, and like sitting at a little table, there was Dean Martin. So I didn't talk to him. I didn't say anything. I was just like, well, I'm sitting in the same room with Dean Martin, and he always had a club sandwich and a Heineken. That's what he had every time. And I was like, shit, I'm sitting next to him, sort of, you know, not right on top of him, but, you know, there he was.
I get it, yeah.
So then I said, well, I'm going to come back the next week, and I'll just ask somebody if I can talk to him. So I went back. There he was, always by himself, you know, club sandwich, Heineken. And I said, you know, I'm kind of to the bartender, I said, you know, I'm a huge fan, you know. You think it would be all right if I said hello? And they're like, oh yeah, he's a nice guy. So I walked over and introduced me. He goes, sit down, Rich.
Wow.
Yeah, we talked. I told him, you know, everything. And I had just finished this movie, and he signed. I have the Silencers posters signed. I have all these signed albums, and because the relationship went on for several weeks. But this is the funny story, is I said, I know you would have no interest, but I had just finished the movie Hot Under the Collar, which was an HBO premiere. I think you know, Melinda Clark stars in it with me and Bert. And I said, you know, I would love to give you a VHS of one of my movies because I heard he likes to watch stuff. He loved Westerns. And I said, you mind if I brought you a tape of one of my movies? He said, no, you know, I'll take a look at it, you know. So like the next week, I brought a VHS tape. I also brought something for him to sign. And I said, well, I just can't keep coming here every week. It's going to look like I'm stalking him, you know. And I would come with my friend Larry also, you know. And anyway, so I waited 2 weeks. So I waited 2 weeks, and I went back, and I was like, I wonder if he's still there, or what's the story. Sure enough, there he is with his club sandwich on his own. And I walked by to him, and I said, you know, Mr. Martin, you know, so good to see you and everything. I said, did you watch my movie? He goes, Rich, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't watch your movie. But he said, I will. He said, I will. And so then I waited another 2 weeks or whatever, and I came back, and he said, you know, Rich, he goes, I watched your movie, and it was all right. I enjoyed it. He goes, it's the kind of movie Jerry would like more. That's what he said to me. So I thought that was really great. And what a great, I mean, how blessed am I to have been able to meet and speak to my hero.
And teeming with jealousy that you got to hang out with Lee Marvin.
I hung out with Dean Martin,
yeah.
And he was a great guy, and I've sort of become, I mean, I wouldn't say friends, but I keep in touch with Deana, his daughter, who's really carrying the legacy. She's a phenomenal performer and singer.
Really?
And yeah. And in fact, that's another true Hollywood story that you wouldn't think. I saw on Facebook that Deana was performing at Vibrato, up at the Beverly.
Yes.
She was performing at Vibrato, and I was like, my dad was recently gone. It was right around my mom's birthday. I said, okay, I'm getting everyone. We're going to go up to Vibrato. Deana Martin's playing. We'll go celebrate Mom's birthday because she's great. And another one is that I did get to meet Jerry Lewis, and
I met Jerry Lewis too.
And I have, and since my great friend Billy Stabile, anyway, he got me one of his shirts after he had passed away from the estate with the JL embroidery and everything.
Oh man, I don't have
so
that.
out of the blue, I just Facebook messaged, or I don't remember if it was Instagram, I think it was Facebook messaged Deana. I said, hey, this is my name. We're coming to your show Saturday night. I have one of your Uncle Jerry's shirts that I'm going to wear, and we're celebrating my mom's birthday. Super excited. So we went to the club. Like, you wouldn't believe it. I don't know her, right?
Yeah.
Just, you send a random message,
Yeah, right.
She not only stopped the show near the end and sang happy birthday to my mom.
Wow.
But it was also her son's birthday, and they were celebrating her son's birthday, and she sent birthday cake to our table for everything. So, I mean, hey, some crazy dreams come true. Some wild and wacky things happen.
You are blessed and living under a very, very nice, glowing cloud of meeting the awesomest people there are. I mean, it's amazing to me.
I'm sitting next to Robert Carradine right now.
Well, there's that.
And, like, I'm not the guy who almost didn't want to star in a movie with John Wayne right out of the gate.
It's not that I didn't want to star in it. I was freaked out to go meet anybody for a movie, and I just passed until my brother told me don't pass. But I just remembered a story. I did this film called The Incident at Camp Bremen, with Walter Matthau. And my wife and I were in the restaurant one night. I guess it was maybe 2 or 3 days after getting there, and we're about to start shooting. And we're walking into the restaurant, and Walter Matthau sitting there with his wife. I thought, well, we're going to work together. I should say hi, introduce myself. So I go, hi, Mr. Matthau. I'm Robert Carradine. He goes, yeah, you remind me of myself when I was your age. I go, really? He says, yeah, you're an arrogant prick.
Well, I'm not going to bring it up, Bobby, but the first time we met.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I figured it out after the fact. It's what these older actors used to do with their co-stars, is set them up to have the proper
etiquette.
On-set decorum and etiquette. Yeah. And my character in the script was an arrogant prick.
Uh-huh.
So that's what he was doing, because he didn't know me like you do. So he didn't know I was an arrogant prick.
Well, Bobby, we will continue to count our blessings and recount these amazing true Hollywood stories.
Excellent.
This concludes a special bonus episode of the Party Nerds Popcast, live from a triple, quadruple, unbelievably secret location high in the Hollywoodland Hills. Richard Gabai.
Robert Carradine.
We will see you next time. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks so much.